So in the previous video, I talked about the different things that I did and how my life spiraled into the project plan, research plan that I chose, and how I brainstormed with different people. And then my friend, Ben Ayansado, and the idea that I gave him the problem I wanted to solve, he gave it a name. I understand you. My research plan is I understand you, IUUY, to help reduce communication breakdown in teams. So what is communication breakdown? In one of the previous videos, I talked about how the Indians that I coached, they don't want to speak up the remote teams because Americans were louder and more dominant because Indians are usually bi and trilingual. So English is not their first language. The same with the Brazilians, Portuguese. They couldn't, they were not very vocal in meetings. They rather send messages than be vocal. And you know that if there's a collaboration going on or if there's a decision-making process, and some people are very vocal while others type, the vocal will always dominate. So I'd seen the downsides of communication, psychological safety, why people sometimes are uncomfortable to vocalize their thoughts, because I also had an experience about that. For those of you who don't know, I trained Taekwondo, second degree black belt. And when I started training with them, more or less white people and Americans, sometimes when they're cracking jokes and making fun and laughing, I'd want to say something. But when I play it back in my head, I'm like, I don't want to be judged. I don't say anything. Now, this is in a friendly environment. Imagine a corporate environment in this globally interconnected world. So I wanted to solve the problem that I had in labor and industries where I said something and they misunderstood me, where the DEI expert HR consultant that came in was also white and could not see what I was saying. Like I saw what the project manager, who is Nigerian, had said, and I interpreted what he said for Americans. Nobody could do it for me. So the only facilitator that could have helped with multiculturally competent conversation in English language was also white female and was not helpful in that interaction. Now I'm somebody who had worked in teams, was passionate about active listening, psychological safety, healthy communication. So that was my field, but I could not step in to facilitate a conversation about me. There's nothing they didn't say. He's trying to gaslight us. He's just disrespectful and rude because I wouldn't apologize. What I'd meant was not disrespectful. You get the point? So coincidentally, here on TikTok, some people talked about code switching. There are downsides to it. I mean, I can, of course, I can code switch as well. But code switching is a coping mechanism. It's a double consciousness. What it does is, for those who have other languages, Black Americans also have it. If you're used to AAVE and then you're at work, you're trying to sound white, it's exhausting. By the time you get home, you want to revert back to being you. Some people automatically get so swamped, buried in code switching that they begin to forget their original default way of saying things, which is AAVE, or in my case, Nigerian English. And I'm trying to use AI, multi-agent system, and blockchain to solve this problem of discrimination or non-inclusive English communication in corporate spaces, especially America. Of course, I started doing research, I read, and so that a lot of people have talked about it differently. While some scholars believe that countries like Singapore, Nigeria, India, Korea should aspire to speak English like Americans, standard English. Others were offended by it. People like me are offended by that because American English is not standard English. Even GPTs, if you ask Gemini, ChatGPT, those two I've used, they will tell you standard English is American English. How is American English standard when there's UK English? And how is it that they both say things differently? Is it the vocabulary or the accent or pronunciations? For example, restaurant, which one is it? Schedule, which one is it? Data, which one is it? Do you get the point? Inquiry, which one is it really? secretary, which one is it? So these pronunciations are different within those two English language. There's a video that I made recently, not too long ago. If I remember to put it in the description, I'll put it, where some UK scholar was talking about why America chose to change its English after the World War. It's intentional. But I digress. So native English speakers, the world assumes that it's Americans, the British, the Australians, the South Africans, I think the Canadians. No, that's so wrong, because if we were colonized and our languages were stripped, but some of us are bi and trilingual, multilingual, but we have English as our native language as well. Lingua franca, as a matter of fact, we are native English speakers. I used to be offended when people asked me, what do you speak in Nigeria? Nigerian? But not when I started doing my research. I realized that Nigerian is actually an English dialect. I'm not talking about pidgin. I'm talking about the same English that some people in the southern part of America speak, but it's okay. When black-skinned Nigerians say it, it's wrong. Example, July 4th. Now, remember I said things were spiraling into my life right now. I attended Bob and Robin, my two old white friends, went to their house for July 4th. They are people I trained with in martial arts. And his dad was there, 70-something-year-old man. So when I told him the project plan that I had, he gave an example. He said, like in the down south, when you say simmer down, hunker down, like hunker down, simmer down, that people don't know what he means when he says it in the northern part of America, Pacific Northwest. Then he said, for example, they were at a party, and after the party, he said he was going to carry somebody home. I will carry her home. That people in the Pacific Northwest misunderstood what he was saying. They thought he meant, of course, sleep with her. But the moment he said it, I knew what he meant, because Nigerians also speak English that way. I will carry her home means I will give her a ride home. But because he's white, they asked him for explanation, and he explained himself. But when a Nigerian says the same thing, it's wrong English, even from fellow Nigerians. An example of a dialectal variation is what I just said. Now, another one is when Nigerians say, I am coming, which means I'll be right back, or I am on my way. It's contextual. Some Nigerians who think they are educated say it's wrong. No. Language is embedded in culture. Culture is embedded in language. English dialects are a function of culture and first language 1 or language 2. Because when a Yoruba person says Mombo, in the guys to say I'll be right back, it means I'm coming. Igbo, Anamabia, same thing. Hausa, Nnazwa, the same thing. So these 3 languages in Nigeria say I'll be right back as I am coming. So now that I've talked about this dialectal variation to this point, in the next video, I'll continue. Stay with me.